All right, for one of our dinner options, we are going to be making Sloppy Joes. If you've ever had Sloppy Joes, they're a nice, easy, and delicious dinner. The ingredients you'll need some buns, brown sugar, Worcestershire sauce, ketchup. I could not find any fresh garlic at the grocery store, so I'm just using pre-chopped garlic. It requires Dijon mustard, but I don't have any, so I'm going to use classic yellow mustard, cayenne pepper, onion, and a bell pepper. So first we're going to chop the onion, and just like always, I always cut it in the middle that way, and then slice off either end, and then just peel the outside, grab one of the outside layers of skin and peel it off. Then we're gonna cut it pretty thin. We're gonna be cooking it with the ground beef. So you wanna keep it, you know, kind of the size that beef cooks down to. You need half a cup, so I'm just gonna do half of the onion. And then notice I turned it. Same thing, we've done this in class lots of different times. Okay, so you want it to be about that big. And we need about half a cup. I think that'll do. Okay, so the first cooking we want to do is we're going to turn our skillet on high. We're going to put our 1.5 pounds of beef into the pan and our half cup of onion. And then we're going to cook this until the beef is no longer pink. So you want to break it up as you go. This is similar to what we did for the lasagna cups if you made that recipe. And you just kind of break it up so as much beef as possible can touch the bottom of the pan at the same time. And you don't need to move it around too much. Let it get pretty good and cooked before you start turning it. Just kind of trying to mix the onions in a bit and get it flattened out. And then I'll ignore it for 3 or 4 minutes. All right, we're gonna cut up this green pepper here. And I learned this technique and it was so funny because I did not know how to do this and I always did it in a very inefficient manner. So all you do with the green pepper is you cut off the end so that it will stand up like that. And then you slice down the sides. And that way you don't worry about getting all that middle stuff. And then when you get to the end, you just chop it off. And then you have all that as trash. And then we're gonna slice these into long, skinny pieces. Make sure your knife is pretty sharp. It'll be hard to do with a dull knife. And you'll do that with all of it, and then turn it the other direction and slice it this way into very small pieces, because we're gonna mix this in next with the garlic into the beef. But you're gonna cut up the whole bell pepper. I'm not gonna make you watch me do the whole thing. Okay, so my ground beef is brown. You can see there's no pink left there. And at this time, I'm going to add my garlic. And like I said, I couldn't find any fresh garlic, so I'm gonna use just crushed garlic from a can or a jar, whatever. And I'm gonna use 2 teaspoons. And then I'm also going to add my bell pepper. And we're gonna stir this in, and we wanna be able to get all those flavors mixed together and give it some time for the flavors to meld. All right, and we'll move on in a minute. So you can see that my onions and my bell peppers are soft at this point. They look different. The bell peppers look softer. And now we're gonna add in a cup of water. And you just wanna stir that around. And this is when, if there's any little bits of meat on the bottom of the pan, you wanna kind of scrape it off into the liquid. That'll help make a tasty sauce. And then we're gonna cook this for a little while before we come back and add a few more ingredients. Okay, so we're gonna add all of these ingredients. The ketchup, it's 3/4 of a cup. It's all on the recipe. Our mustard, I think it's a teaspoon. And again, I didn't have any Dijon. I actually just ran out, so I use regular, it's fine. Brown sugar, salt, pepper, and then I believe it is a dash of Worcestershire sauce. So we're just gonna do a couple of those. If you're not familiar with that, it looks like that. I'm sure there's some bottle of that in your house somewhere. It's one of those things that's always around. And then last but not least, if you would like to add in a little cayenne pepper, which I'm going to, because we like things a little spicy around here. So you can put just a pinch, you know, you just take a little bit and pinch it with your fingers and just put it in there. And then the extra goes back in the jar, as long as your hands are clean. Then we're gonna stir this all up. Did you guys notice my lovely Pokemon apron that used to belong to my son? It's the only apron I have at home. And we're gonna stir this up and we're gonna let it cook for a little while and we'll visit it back in a minute. And the last ingredient is 1 more cup of water. So we're gonna cook this for quite a while to reduce it. We're gonna let it simmer, you know, small bubbles, pretty hot, and just let it go for, it's probably gonna take 15 to 20 minutes to simmer it down to where this is a nice thick sauce. Again, we're reducing, we've done that in class before, and that'll get all the flavors really sealed into the meat. Okay, so once it is dry and it's completely reduced, you can see mine isn't liquidy in there. Mine took about 20 minutes and I had it on like medium, so it came together really nicely. And then you'll just get a bun. If you want to toast your bun, feel free, you're welcome to do that. Get your Sloppy Joe. Go ahead and get it on your bun here. And then they recommend as a serving, you know, a nice little topper, some pickles. I like these kind of pickles. You can use any kind of pickles you like, but in our house we like those a lot. And then there you have your lovely Sloppy Joe.